this committee, the Community Development Committee, to order. The time is now 2:06. I'll go ahead and open us up with the invocation. Father God, we just come before you right now, just thanking you for this day that we have to be in the land of the living. I thank you that the conversations that go forth and the discussions that we have will be edifying and will put us in a position to improve the quality of life of each and every one of our citizens. And we just thank you for this opportunity to make Birmingham a better place. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. Wanted to go ahead and seek approval of the minutes from our last meeting on December the 20th. I know we got a chance to have that meeting and haven't been able to come together since then because of the weather. So do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Those minutes have been motioned and approved. Now we're going to old and new business. Looks like the first item up is the right-of-way vacations. And so, Mr. Lowe.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Lowe, and I serve as the subdivision planner for the city of Birmingham. And item number one is SUB 2023 case number 86, which is a request for favorable recommendation regarding the vacation of 6,757 square feet of right-of-way and a request for approval of a final plat combining the vacated right-of-way and 104 lots into 3 lots called the CCBCU Resurvey number 1. And I do have a representative from Shoal Engineering who is the surveyor of record.
Thank you. If that representative will come up and tell us what we're looking at here.
Good afternoon. Mark Clark with Shoal Engineering. What we're doing here is we're combining, doing a resurvey and combining some lots that the CCBCU already owned, and there are some little small areas of right-of-way that in the past the roads were actually vacated, but the way they were described from one point to another on each road, but they left like the major intersection, the square that's in the major intersection, out of the description. So all we're doing is cleaning that up so that there's no question about what all is vacated out there.
And I want to make sure that we're looking at the right one.
It's so microscopic.
Yeah.
I can't see what it is.
So is it this one?
Yeah. I have a little bigger copy here.
Which one? Which one?
So.
Yeah. The U-shape.
Mm-hmm.
Is it alleys behind?
Well, it's alleys and vacated street right-of-ways. There's it might be hard to see on the small.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you all have a larger depiction of the area for us to be able to view? I appreciate the information, but it is kind of small to see.
So like if you look on there where it says vacated 42nd Street North, it's kind of halfway down on that. There's a little square right there. They'd already vacated the streets on each side of it, but they didn't describe the square right there in the main part of the intersection and the old vacation from long ago. So when we were, plotting these things and doing the surveys, we noticed that. We said we need to clean this up.
Nah, go ahead, Councilor Clark.
Yeah, I can see that in one instance, everything's vacated, all of the right-of-way in line with the square intersection, but the other looks like an alleyway. And the owner is the same for all of it, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So,
And all these old lots are just from long ago. There's nothing there. It's just, we're just trying to combine it out into one big parcel.
Councilor Abbott.
So the yellow part is 6,757 square feet?
And so it's two alleyways then? So the top, got you.
It's like he highlighted words. It says words.
Ah.
He highlighted words. but
Okay.
It's just this alley and that square right
Got
there.
it.
So that, yeah.
Got it, okay.
He just highlighted this blurb.
Top. Okay. All good. Okay. Committee members, is there a motion for?
Well, I move that we approve it, but I want to make a suggestion.
Mhm.
If there's a SUV number on here, the same one should be on here, so we can kind of figure out what's going on. But I'll move approval.
All right, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that item passes. And one suggestion, I don't know if this is possible, but, is there a way to, I guess, have like a digital copy that we can have, posted up on?
We can certainly provide a digital copy.
Yeah, that we would be able to zoom in, that way you don't have to bring these big maps in, for us to stand around. So, yeah,
Just need a PDF, is that what it would be? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's easy.
okay, thank you.
And the subdivision case number is at the top of the map. I think it just got cut off.
This page.
Okay, yeah.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Lowe?
You can come back, but. Again, my name is Roger Glow, and I serve as the subdivision planner for the city of Birmingham. And item number 2 is SUB 2024, case number 3, which is a request for favorable recommendation regarding the vacation of 23,760 square feet of alleyway and a request for approval of a final plat combining the vacated right-of-way and 3 lots into 2 lots called Wyndham addition to Highview Resurvey Number 1. And again, we'll have Shoal Engineering and their representative to explain.
And before he comes, do you know what neighborhood this is in?
It's right at the top of the crest.
Got you. Okay. District 3.
Okay, this case here, this vacation here is a subdivision where we're trying to vacate the alley. The Barber Companies owns all the property around the alley. It's unimproved, there's nothing there. And then the vacation of 17th Avenue South right-of-way, that little piece of right-of-way just punches out there, and there's a big apartment complex that's there. And that little street doesn't serve anything but the apartment site. And so they're wanting to vacate that as well. So, and put it all into these 2 lots.
Yes, Council Clark.
So Barber owns the apartments served off the alley?
Yes.
Okay. And do they own the apartments that you can see up on the ridge a little bit?
Yeah, the apartments were run right along the 22nd Street here, and the access is at the bottom side of the apartments where that 27th Street is.
So they own both sides of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they own it all. And then on the alleyway, they actually own from that Lot 4, Block 7, all the way to the east to Red Mountain Expressway. So they are the only adjoining owner. They own both sides of everything that's being vacated.
So, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm clearly understanding. So, the highlighted portion that says, portion of alley to be vacated on here, is that the picture that we're looking at on this portion?
Yes, that goes up to the
Apartments.
That's that little stub out on the bigger piece.
On Lot 1.
Go ahead.
Does it say
So,
That was,
Yeah, it's vacated 17th Avenue South is what it's gonna be. It's just a little stub out of 17th Avenue after it crosses 21st Place.
yeah, go ahead, Council.
So I guess this question is to Rob, just so that Roderick, Mr. Lowe, so that I know. The main, I guess our only interest would be in general circulation if there was a need for the public to circulate through public right of way, or if we had utilities or something else that,
We have to send out notifications to all of these. We send out notices to all of the utilities companies, and if they have interest or anything left in those alleys, they let us know, or they come to the actual public hearing.
okay.
And-
So they're notified if they have a reason for keeping it public because of something they have in the ground, then they have that opportunity and that notice. And it didn't look like we would care about circulation through these areas
Well,
because,
the city does that up front before we even accept the application. This goes through the Department of Transportation, and also the city engineer reviews all of this stuff before we even accept the application. So
Okay.
we do kind of like the vetting up front.
okay, thank you.
Councilor Abbott.
one more question. If these alleyways and pieces of property had like utility easements on them, like the power company had poles or something, would we vacate the alley without their consent, or we wouldn't do it at all? Or how does that work when you have utilities?
We wouldn't do it without their consent. They would communicate with us that they still have interest or those are still needed. And at that point, we probably wouldn't vacate it.
But if there was a city storm sewer under it, would we vacate it?
That process in the past, they've actually rerouted the storm sewer to meet Jefferson County Environmental Services requirements, and then we would vacate it. But other than that, we wouldn't vacate it if they still had sewer in it,
Well, this would be our sewer, like storm sewer.
storm sewer. No.
There's none there. It's unopened and just,
But I just wondered in general how we decide what to vacate and what not to vacate.
what we would do in that situation is if it's our water crossing someone else, we would have to put an easement there for it. But if it was somebody else's water coming through our property, as long as it's our water coming off of us, there's no need for an easement. But if somebody else's water is coming through the property, then we would have to put an easement there so that it could be maintained.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering, because we're gonna be hearing a lot of these cases, and it's good for us to know, what the decision process is. I know if no adjacent property owners object, then they get if there had been an adjacent property owner, they'd be offered half, or?
That is correct. Yeah, each side gets half. I'm sorry, Roger comes in. Each side would get half. Or they could quit claim their right to their half to the
other guy.
owner if they wanted. And as far as the utilities go, like Roderick said, they generally, unless there's a plan to redevelop it and those utilities are gonna be moved, then, they would vacate the right of way, and then there's basically a perpetual right of way there for the utilities that are still there. And then once all that was relocated, then the utility companies would write quitclaim letters to the developer and say, okay, our stuff is moved, we no longer have interest in it, and then we can remove that right of way, that easement.
Okay, well, I know this is in the slide zone of Red Mountain, so let's get rid of it as fast as we can.
Is there a motion?
I move approval.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, that item passes.
Thank you
Moving
all.
on to item
Thank
3,
you.
you're welcome. Mr. Glover, a request for a review of property.
See, we made him smile.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Glover. I serve as the Chief Condemnation Demolition Coordinator. Item 3, a request for the Community Development Committee to review property that has 0 voided repair permits at 819 31st Street Southwest. On January 9, 2024, Waylon Bush, H. 53 Property and Investments, LLC, P.O. Box 28683, Birmingham, Alabama 35228, submitted an application for a special repair permit. The property was condemned by City Council on August 29, 2023.
Got you. And do we have the applicant that is here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please come up and state your name and tell us how you gonna make a miracle out of this.
Okay. My name is Waylon Bush with H53 Property and Investments. We've been investing in the Birmingham metropolitan area since 2006. We also specialize in revitalization. In this particular area, we've sold quite a few houses and helped with the betterment of the community. I'm a recent graduate of ACE, the Academy of Civic Engagement, so I have a lot of respect and understand what Birmingham City does. Today, I'm really just looking for the opportunity to, it's a unique property because this was a house that was connected to a building. So the house burned down, but the building, the commercial building in the front, the structure is okay. I spoke with Mr. Inspector Glover, and I was looking to be able to just demolish the structure in the back, put a roof on the commercial building, secure it, and I have my 2-part plan right here. And in the worst-case scenario, I can sell it. I have buyers who want to actually buy the property. I want to hold on to it because it's a part of the Riley Powley revitalization program that we're working on to bring restaurants and food choices in this desert area. So it is a plan to convert this into a half grocery store, half restaurant, seafood type deal. And so I just need the city to give me some time to do what I need to do. And if needed, I can just pass it on to an investor who recently just bought a property on Dawson Avenue, one of the worst properties in that area. And if you go by there now, they're in the process of remodeling the complete house, making it pretty much brand new. And yeah, they're willing to step in and actually buy this property. My goal is to hold on to it and bring in my own people, see if I can make something happen. But if not, I have a buyer that's prepared to go on and get the property and do what they need to do with it.
Gotcha. And so, from what I understand, based on what you just said, have you been in contact with the community or the neighborhood officers there because you talked about the Raleigh neighborhood plan?
Yes, sir.
So-
Well, that's something I'm doing as an individual, as an investor who currently have buildings in the area.
Got you. Okay.
I mean, I have spoken with people in the community. I've been to a few neighborhood association meetings and stuff like that, but I'm really in the streets, doing the work. So,
Got you.
like I said, we sold quite a few properties around in the area that they've been fixed up on Jefferson Avenue, Dawson Avenue. So we're heavily invested in the community already.
Got you. Committee members, Abbott?
Yeah, I have a question. What is your timetable? When are you going to start the work and when are you going to finish the work?
Well, we're going to start the work immediately. From what I saw with the special permit, that we have to have inspections every month to show that we are making progress. So I do have a plan to start, like I said, demolishing, taking down the structure in the back and repairing the roof. I don't know if you all, they told me to have something in writing. Do you all want to? But like I say, the worst case scenario, I do have a buyer ready to step in, actually buy the property and do what they, do whatever they want to do with it.
Yeah, well, since we've already condemned it, we just want to make sure that if we give you a repair permit, it gets repaired like quickly instead of next year.
Well, I mean, the complete process might take about a year, but it will be measurable progress. I understand about having things be a sore eye in the community. I definitely understand. Like I said, we specialize in revitalization. It's kind of, unfortunately, we had a fire at the property, and that just happened like 7 months ago. So all of this is fairly recent. So,
Yeah, and we're all about second and third chances. I think that's how many chances we give people, 3.
2.
2. Oh, we've moved it down to 2. It used to be 3. Anyway, we're all about it, but we don't want to be giving someone a repair permit who doesn't have the means or the time to do the repairs, and then it comes back to us again. We don't want that to happen.
I understand, and that's why I would be prepared to at least fix the commercial building up, take down the structure in the back. It wouldn't be an eyesore, and we would just use the building for storage, but it would be dried in and secure.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Clark.
Thank you. So your application is is partly for a demolition permit and for a condemnation repair permit? I mean, is he applying for
No, ma'am.
permit to demolish part of it? It sounds like he's taking down part of it,
No,
the residential part.
This is a unique structure. The commercial building is in the front, and there's a house attached to it. But there is not so much a firewall, but there is a divider to where you could demolish the one without demolishing the other.
Okay, so it's two separate things.
So it's actually the
So he
commercial-
could get a demolition permit for the other part without coming to the council. It's just the condemnation repair permit for the commercial part that he
Right.
has to come to the council
Yes.
for.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess my question is, what construction value is his condemnation repair permit based on? Doesn't the cost of the permit depend on how much he's gonna spend? And you all evaluate that just to see if he's prepared to spend a reasonable amount of money to
Yes.
bring it up to code?
Yes.
Is
Due
that
to the-
something you can disclose?
Sure, due to the fire, which the fire is majority of the residential property. But this commercial property, it is basically concrete block walls,
Block walls, yeah, I can see.
concrete floors. So the only thing he really needs
It's the roof.
is the roof.
Yeah,
Just to clean up and to get the roof, and he's pretty much good to go. He's got
Yeah.
it dried in or whatever.
and I think secure it so that
Right.
you don't have another fire
Right.
from somebody going in there. Okay, but, okay, so so if he just, cleaned it up and had an inspection, that would be noticeable improvement. No, he's gotta go ahead and put the roof structure on,
Yes,
demo the old roof.
Cleanup is not a repair.
Okay,
We do not consider cleanup as a repair.
okay.
He would have to start with his roof.
So
And to what he said, it can't take a year. You know, that has, because we inspect
yeah,
30 days.
a roof is a roof.
So you won't,
Usually,
that repairing a roof, you can't leave it open for, you have to get it done.
Okay.
So the rain won't damage the trusses or the built up whichever roof he decides to go with. So therefore, a year would not be acceptable as far as a roof repair.
yeah, because if that's the main thing that's needed, you start that, roofing is gonna keep going until it finishes. They're not gonna start and stop. But I just wanna make sure, even, the gentleman, I like saving buildings because it's hard to replace them, so. And they do tend to, add character to areas if they look good. But, I just want you to know what the expectation is so that you don't spend money on a permit and then all of a sudden, you can't execute the roof project all the way through, which is the main thing to stabilize the structure and get it dry and, so that you can have something.
Correct. But I'm confident that if I'm not able to do it, the people that I bring in, they will be more than able to do it. Is the permit does the permit go with the property? So like they wouldn't have to come down here and do the permit as well, or can that be attached to them? Can that work like that if I bring an investor who can finish the job?
If you hire a contractor, they're responsible for putting the permits. If you're doing it as an owner, you're required to pull the permits.
You know what I'm saying? I pulled a permit, but then I have a buyer that wants to come in, and an investor's gonna buy the property, and he's gonna complete the job and come in and fix the roof and do whatever needs to be done. They're in a position to be able to do it. So would that permit stay attached to the property? So they would have to come down here and get a whole new permit for something I already got for the building?
Either you're gonna pull the permit as the owner, or the contractor's gonna pull the permit as the owner. You
I'm
know,
gonna pull the
You
permit.
can't pull it for another company. You get what I'm saying? If you're pulling it as an owner, you're taking responsibility.
Correct.
You can't pull it, give it to someone else and expect them to, take responsibility, if I understand you correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess that raises a question for me, like, if we are to approve, giving him the ability to begin, or get this condemnation, permit, would he then be able to sell it to someone else?
Which I would like the opportunity to be able to, so I can be transparent with the person that's gonna buy the property, which I've already been speaking with them. And from the looks of this, it seemed like I might need to go in and sell to them. And like I said, they're prepared to come in and do it, but I would take, since I'm here and it has to be done anyway, they would know that, and then,
Yeah, cause for us, our goal is to, like Councilor Abbott said, to remove the eyesore and to make sure that if we're taking a property that we have already as a council condemned, that we actually repair it. And
see, the
we
eyesore-
would be holding you responsible for
Correct.
that because you're the ones that's coming before us.
but the eyesore isn't the commercial building on the corner, it's the burnt down structure behind the commercial building. So I don't really see why I would.
Yeah, we looking at the pictures, we see it.
There's no doubt that all of it is an eyesore.
So, Councilor Clark, go ahead.
I've purchased a condemned building before, but I was still subject to the every 30-day inspections, and I had to get a repair permit as a new owner. I don't know if I don't think the previous owner had a repair permit. They were just gonna let it get torn down. I didn't want it to get torn down.
Right.
So I bought it from them and then got a repair permit. And it's now a beautiful house in Norwood.
Shout
I'll
out
show
to
it
you. Thank you.
The only reason why I asked for the city to work with me on that is so I can be transparent with this person and let them know, hey, this is the requirements, and the city gonna be looking at me. So, you know, when you do buy this property, there is a timeline for you to complete these repairs, and so they would know that.
And I'll just say,
That permit doesn't transfer.
okay.
It's not transferred.
So they would have to come in and do it. Okay, well.
And so it sounds like it might be best to, I guess, handle whatever business that you have with them so that they would be the ones to come down and get the permit. Because if you're not gonna be able to start on this work and complete it within the 30 days to show improvement, then at that point.
I'll be
you
able to
put
show
yourself-
improvement. I'll be able to
Well-
show some improvement.
Well, no, I just, you would put yourself at risk of having a voided repair permit. Am I correct? Like, if he was to check and if he was to come in and inspect in 30 days and the proper work that needed to be done was not completed, then that puts you in a position to have a zero or to have a voided repair permit. And it sounds like this is not gonna be the last time that you're gonna be doing work with the city and repairing different structures in different areas. And so I would suggest that if this is something that you wanna do and you want to, just go ahead and handle your business with whoever it is that you're gonna sell it to, have them to come down, get the condemnation repair permit, and then we move forward with them, because it sounds like they may have the means to be able to do everything that needs to be done.
Well, I'm just gonna move forward and get the permit myself, and we'll work it out. I'll figure out a way where everything's gonna work out right for everybody, so I'll move forward and I'll go and pull the permit.
Got you.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, from the photographs, it appears, well, I guess my question is, was the roof caving in on the commercial building before the fire or after the fire?
Before the fire.
Before the fire?
Yes,
Yeah, because some of the wood looks new and some of it looks old, and I thought, well, that's interesting, that there would be new wood, and of course it's collapsed.
Well, it's two different roofs, even though it's one commercial building, as we looked in it, it's two different roofs in there, roofs.
Yeah, but it's just some of the wood is nice and light and white and clean, and the other is all dark and brown and dirty looking, and I just thought, it looks like somebody's made repairs before, but it just isn't clear. But if you wanna go for it,
Okay, or can I just get some time and then come back with, if I end up do something to the buyers, just come back with him and just walk them through the process and do whatever we need to do?
I think that would be good.
Okay.
You know, that, you know, would just be my suggestion.
just find out when the clock starts ticking.
Okay. Who determines that?
He's the man who knows when the clock is ticking.
Okay.
I was ticking
Well, I said,
now.
well, how long do I have?
That's my best advice, is ticking.
Yeah. So the clock is ticking to come in and get the special repair permit done.
I thought you were going one way, but it seems like you were going a different way than what we talked about. Meaning, I thought you were gonna repair the property as the owner.
Yes. Which I do plan on doing. That's what I'm saying. I do plan on doing that.
Now you've stated that you plan on selling the property, so that's a whole different.
Well, this is in my two-part plan. Like I said, I have a plan that's contingent. I'm just working it as I go. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, you jump off the top of the mountain, you make an airplane on the way going down.
Gotcha.
So I'm just saying, if push comes to shove, I have a buyer in play I could pass the baton to, and they can finish the job.
So let's do this. Let's just move forward.
Okay.
Let's just move forward. But just understanding, you know, yes. Turn your mic on.
You think we do a motion to approve and let him figure it out, or
So
we,
the only, and I'm trying to be helpful here,
Right.
only because the alternative is the clock is ticking and it's going to be demolished, correct?
Yes, excuse me. Yes, sir. This property is actually on the list for, the bid process for non-residential properties. So that's why I instructed him that it's ticking. you know,
Yeah.
And, you know, we as a whole is willing to work with him, but the clock is ticking and we're here now. So, you know, like I said, it can't be a year down the road, it can't be 6 months. It's gotta be done. You know.
Okay. This is good. So we all get a chance to talk this out. So can the city, like we know that the eyesore, can you all just tear down the building in the back? Do you have to tear down the commercial building as well? Do all of it have to be demolished if y'all gonna come and demolish it?
We just gonna,
If, and this is as plain as I can say it, if your building is not repaired, it will be demolished. Both the commercial and the residential.
and may I
Yes,
just say, when the city demolishes your property, we will place a lien on it for the value of the work, meaning, you know, you'll then have vacant land with a lien for the work that we had to do to the property. So, you know, it's gonna diminish the value of what's left as well, because your lot, let's say the lot's worth $20,000, but it's got a $10,000 lien on it. So think that through too, because that's what else, you know, that would be the result of, I'm just using those numbers hypothetically, but
And it just wouldn't be for me, it'd be for any other investor that comes behind me that wants to eventually get the property and do something with it as the city.
yeah, if
grows.
someone wanted the vacant land, they, you know, your value of that land would be diminished by the lien for the code enforcement lien that's placed on it, okay, for the demolition of the commercial and the residential. And even if the city just demolished the residential, you're still gonna have a lien. You know, we have to protect our investment, so if you ever sell the property where the residential is, the city has a chance to recover the money it spent
Correct.
on stabilizing your location.
And also, those two properties are on one parcel. Correct. So they're pretty much the same. So,
so, council,
I was just gonna say, so what I'm hearing is you want to get a demolition permit and tear down the house yourself. so that you don't have a lien on your property. And then you want to get the repair permit, it sounds like, and repair the part that's salvageable.
Exactly, that's exactly what I want.
Because
I'm glad
you don't want the city to do any of
Yeah.
it, because then we would place a lien on your property. So just wanted to make sure you understood that.
Okay, well, that's what I want to do. I want to get a permit to demolish the structure, and then we're going to repair the commercial building.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. My motion is that we approve the request for a repair permit since he has 0 voided repair permits so far.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That item passes.
Good luck.
Yeah, look.
Yes, sir.
And before we go on, I just want to say, man, I appreciate y'all. This is a lot of good dialogue, you know. I feel like I'm learning something up here, so cool.
And we all are,
Right.
even as golden oldies.
Next item, Mr. Glover.
Okay. Item number 4, a request for the Community Development Committee to review property that has 0 voided repair permits at 5113 Fifth Avenue South on November 30th, 2023. James W. Swain, 505 Godfrey Avenue, Northeast Fort Payne, Alabama 35967, submitted an application for a special repair permit for this, a special repair permit. This property was condemned by City Council on August 29th, 2023.
And we have the applicant here. Please state your name.
Hi, my name is James W. Swain,
Okay.
and I had been out of town for a couple of years now, and I was ill, and so I've been up in Fort Payne, and I thought someone was watching my house, and they were as it was falling down. So when I got the notification from that person that, oh, that they condemned your house, and I said, why? And I came down, and it's worse than I thought, you know. When your roof starts to leak, it goes bad, you know, quick. So, but I am better now, and I can do things, and I have my son, who's back home with me, and he can help me do the work on my house here, so I can get back in my house. I only basically have, we checked it out, and my plumbing is fine. My, most of my, well, all my gas is fine. The part of my electrical is fine. So I just have wood to replace and part of my front roof. So that's what, that's why I'm here. I don't know what else to ask. I'm just trying to get it fixed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you came to the right place. So
Do you want to look at the pictures?
I looked at them.
Okay.
I looked at them. Have you repaired, or I was just gonna ask, had you done any repair work before?
Oh, yes, I've done repair work before I got sick, yes. Not
Gotcha.
a problem with repair work. And, you know, follow codes and everything, and I know they come and inspect, you know, each section you're doing.
Yes,
Excuse
sir.
me. Yes, so that wasn't a problem.
And you said you and your son would be doing the work?
I'm sorry?
You and your son?
My
would be
son,
doing-
yeah, my
doing
son
the
and
work?
I can do the work.
Okay.
As long as I don't have to climb up.
Right.
I'm fine.
Councilor Clark?
Just curious, how many years has this property been vacant?
Oh, God. Let's see, I've been up there five years. It took that long. I had Guillain-Barré syndrome, and, you know, I lost feeling and couldn't walk and everything. So it took a while for me to come back.
I understand. I'm just trying to figure out how long it's been vacant, because it looks like it's been vacant for a very long time. I mean, like
Ridiculous.
raining in it.
Well, it needed a paint job before I left.
Okay.
All right, so I mean, that's what really makes it look bad, but then I had started some work on it, on the porch, and I think that's what part of my cause of it starting to get wet and going bad, because that's when I got sick.
Yeah, so no one's living in the house now?
No,
are
no
they?
one's living
Okay.
there now. No.
Okay, and then I guess my other question is, do we venture, like, I mean, do we do any kind of structural eval to, before it gets to this point, to know that it is, I guess anything can be saved with the money, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like a feasibility, like,
The roof.
I haven't inspected this property, but just by looking at the photos, the plumbing would need to be redone completely. The electrical would need to be redone completely. HVAC, the way that property is graded, it appears that there would be a mold issue or mildew issue as far as it's not properly graded because the water just comes and it sits. And we all know water needs somewhere to go. I can't say that the foundation would hold the weight of being repaired.
is it, what's
Just
the
due to
foundation?
the cracking and,
Concrete block
yes, ma'am,
foundation.
because
I looked at the, excuse me.
with cracks and it's, I mean,
Settling and shifting. So,
What I would like to do is at least try to see, and then have the inspector, whoever that is, come out and then look at it after that point. You know, once you clean some stuff up, you know, that's what I'm going for.
Mr. Glover,
Since,
in situations such as this, is there a certain order that things need to be repaired in terms of, like, does the roof need to be done first and then, you know, or
a house is built from the ground up,
ground? Got you.
starting with the foundation and the footing. And if you've got a problem there, regardless of what you put on top of it, you still got a problem.
Facts.
And that's what I hope these owners recognize is you have to start from the ground up with this property. There is no, you know, putting the wall up, you know, and then you got the wall up, then you got to support the weight of the roof. But if the footing and foundation is not stable enough to handle it, it's just, that property is no
Easy.
quick repair, no
Yeah.
easy repair. I understand that he stated that they can do the work, but to do that, you pretty much have to
Build a new house.
demolish it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no nice way of saying it, but you've got to take it down to the footing and foundation,
the front, right in the front, right? So
all
we,
around. I mean, like I said, from what I've seen from those photos, it's a complete reno, all around. You know, and then that's not even including what the subfloor looks like. The way it's open, that rain has been getting in there, water, mildew, so that, I'm sure that floor is rotted. I don't have the proof of it, but
the one room.
this is
in the
just one,
This is the porch.
no, this is just one exterior picture. We
Yes,
have
it's the side.
photos, other photos is what they're looking at.
Should I go
They're
hand
looking
it
at
to
the
you
other
so he can
side.
show?
Right.
Yeah, I can take it.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, it's just like they said, we don't want you to get started with this, putting money in, and then the city ends up demolishing it and you getting a bill for it.
Yeah, I know,
So, but if you want to, you know,
yeah.
The rear of the house actually looks worse than the front, to me. There's a big old hole.
Mr. Swain, how long have you owned the property?
Oh, gosh, 20 years?
20?
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah, this is,
so that's the interior of your floor.
yeah,
It's
that's
gone.
what I said. The interior of that one room is gone.
Well, it's not just one room.
Well, in the front of the house. When the last time I was there, about 2 weeks ago.
So, Mr. Swain?
Yes, anyway. I see the holes, I've seen the damage that's been done, but I figure once all this damage is taken away, you're left with a basic what's left. Okay, there's a little bit left. And then I can just start adding from there. But I know, like on the front, that wall, that I have to put my sill in first before I can put a wall in, so I can put the roof on. Right there, where the hole is. Yeah, back in here.
So,
Or in
Mr.
the
Swain?
back. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, so, I think, you know, each council up here, and I feel safe in speaking on behalf of, you know, this committee. All of us believe in, you know, being able to save and repair any type of old structure or any structure that, you know, is currently standing. And I understand, you know, from your standpoint, it's probably a lot of, you know, sentimental value that's associated with this space as well. And so definitely don't want to tell you that you can't do something. I think Mr. Glover just wants to make sure that you understand that, you know, it is going to be a challenge to, you know, bring this property back to life.
Back to life, yeah.
And it's going to
That's
take a lot of work
she says.
and finances to do so. But I definitely don't want to, you know, stand in your way if you believe that you can do this. Just understand, you know, all the things that it's going to take to make that happen.
Yes, I mean, I could not do it by myself. If my son hadn't come back, you know, to live with us, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be standing here.
Yes, sir.
But since he can, you know, he does carpentry and all, so since he's there and I've done repair work, we can do it. It's a we thing. It can't be a me thing.
Yeah,
If you understand what I mean.
Ms. Abbott.
So you and your son are planning on fixing that roof that was in that picture?
Uh-huh.
The two of
Yeah.
you?
He'll strip it down, replace what has to be replaced, replace this top sill first, and then replace the runners, and then put a tin roof on that. If everything else is okay down. If it's not, if this is the back part right here, then that has to be replaced first before we go up, like the gentleman said.
Well, it seems to me the whole roof has to be replaced at the same time, and yeah, you need to make sure that all the everything else isn't rotten.
Right,
You know, you can't put a new roof on rotten walls and rotten foundation. I realize the foundation can't rot because it's concrete block, but I'm just worried, I'm worried about you putting a lot of money into something that isn't really salvageable. I'm just worried for you.
Yeah.
And I would get a structural engineer over there to look at that house before I put another dime in it. And have them look at it and tell you whether you can save it without putting $100,000 into it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But, yeah, so I could get a structural engineer first, but
But that's what I would do if it was mine, because I would look at it and just be frightened to death that I would start sinking money in it, and it would be a money pit, and all my money would be gone, and the house still wouldn't be habitable. That would be my fear, because that roof's so full of holes. It won't be a few new rafters, it'll be the whole entire new structure, and then what are the walls that are supporting it like?
well,
Are the termites in there? Has the water damage rotted them beyond belief? I would just get a professional. That's what I would do if it was me.
well, but would I have time to do that? Because you put it on the condemned list to be bulldozed. And when I came down, I found that out, so they put a hold on that, right? So I could come to you to get a permit to fix it. But if you're saying I need a structural engineer first,
Well, I'm just saying that if it was my house, that's what I would do, because I would be fearful that I would put so much money into it and I still wouldn't have a habitable house. It looks very uninhabitable to me. And I just don't like people to, endanger all their life savings on something that maybe can't be saved. And I would just advise you to find a professional who really knows instead of just assumes. I can assume all kinds of things.
So, but if I get someone to check it out and they think I can do it, can I come back here like next month? Or how does that work?
Can we defer it for a month until he gets somebody to look at it? I would be glad to vote for your permit today, but I just don't, I'm scared of that house.
Would that be something that we could do from you all standpoint? Because I don't know where on the list it is.
Once we set it to come before you guys,
Yeah,
it's put on hold
got you.
until your findings. And, yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
if y'all are you ready for a motion?
Well, I was just gonna make a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues because I feel like, if you do purchase a permit, you're going to be held to the standard of bringing it up to the code per the inspectors. And if that never happens, like if you just can't get there and you've spent a lot of money in pursuit of that, that's probably not the best thing for you. So we don't want to just thrust you into that position of trying to meet their standard from where you're having to start. So it's not that we don't have we're hopeful for you, but just a little fearful
Okay, well,
because of the
I-
condition.
I
What looks like a little hole in the roof,
Could be more.
the water has been coming in all those years that the house has been vacant. And then it sounds like water's pooling on your lot too. It's not moving away as it should. So, it's coming in and it's sitting at the location is what I'm hearing. So, it's just very, water just does a lot of damage to a structure. So it's more than what we see.
And wet
From the
wood,
exterior.
wet wood invites termites.
Yeah.
They love wet wood.
Mr. Glover.
Termites is what she was saying. They feast on,
Oh, yeah, they just nibble away. Well, I appreciate the input, but what I was asking was, would I have time to get an inspector?
So, and that's what we're about to do. We want to make sure, well, I had a question to Mr. Glover. Should we move forward with, kind of deferring this and holding off for a short period of time and allowing him to get in touch with a structural engineer? Do we have somebody that, we could recommend to him?
No, sir, we do no recommendations because we don't want the city loud.
Out loud. Got you. Okay.
What did we just
So-
find out? I missed it.
I'd like to make a motion to defer this for 1 month. We meet monthly? Okay.
Twice a month. It's just been
Okay,
crazy.
you think 1 month would be, do you think 1 month would be enough time for you to get some evaluations of the property?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll second that. 1 month delay.
All in
Okay.
favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Mr. Swain,
So we'll see you in a month.
I thank
See
you
you
for
in a
your
month.
input. I appreciate it.
no problem.
I think this is yours.
Yes, sir. We'll send you guys
Oh,
notice,
this is your-
for the next meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mr. Glover, thank you for the work that you do, sir. Let's see. We'll come to the end of our agenda. Are there any announcements that you all have? Oh, there you go. Appreciate you.
You don't want to lose those pretty photos.
Right.
You don't want to lose those pretty photos. I have nothing.
No announcements, no?
A motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. We're all in favor, aye, all that good stuff. They done turned the TVs off on me and everything. All right, Cody.